time for another great installment of Younger Life Live. Woo! Beautiful day to be alive. I'm Rick Federici.
I'm Mary Anthony.
And it is so great to be here today. I am just stoked. We've got Dwayne Thompson in studio. How are you, buddy? You doing good?
Yeah, I'm great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You look fantastic there, young man.
Yes.
The last time you were here in studio, here at the flagship radio station, WIMS, Mary Anthony, can I say this? You easily had to be, you were a little bit heavier, I'll say, correct?
I'm guessing about 65 pounds.
Wow.
Wow.
That is fantastic.
This is a big round of
It
applause.
is. That's what I was going to say. I mean, really.
I am
That's a
blown
big deal.
away. Can I just throw this out there? It's Younger Life Live, youngerlife.org/live to view us, of course, Mary Anthony. And we do it in the free TuneIn radio app. We have it up on WIMS. We're here to promote healthy
That's right.
and staying younger and all that good stuff, right?
Finding a better balance. That's all it is. You know, always learning something new. I mean, we are always
Yes.
learning something new.
One of the cool
and
things,
sharing that.
and I was going to say, one of the cool things, Dwayne, I love about working with Mary is that she's got that positive outlook on life. You're always happy. You've always got that energy, no matter where you are at in life. And I feel that I bring that and exude
Yeah.
that as we come in, you know?
Oh, yeah. You're definitely very positive. I always try to look for the positive. You know, nobody wants to be grumpy. Nobody wants to be, you know, the Eeyore.
Eeyore.
Every day. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to feel like that. It's so... The way you perceive things really changes the way you live your life, I think. You know,
I agree.
And it's so important to try to see the positive and the good every day and be happy about it, you know, and thankful. So
Stay young.
that's
There
it.
you go.
That's it. Staying younger longer. You know,
Increase
that's
the
point.
fiber, turn up the volume.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, yeah.
So I have to ask you, as we're going to talk a little bit now, just want to explain to our WIMS and our viewers of Younger Life Live and those that are, you know, maybe tuning in for the first time. We had a couple of ladies, a couple of viewers/listeners, Jenny
Yeah.
and Jackie. They took a challenge with us.
They
Why
were
don't you
here
talk
on
about
Monday.
that a little bit?
Well,
Yeah.
they had reached out initially to you, Rick, and they loved the show, and they were interested in trying to find the inspiration to commit to healthier living, you know, to making healthier choices and to stick with them. I mean, realistically, we all go through spurts where we are pretty good about it, especially New Year's is a real typical time. People try to make changes, but they kind of get a little lax, especially by the end of February.
They fall by the wayside.
They do.
there,
And, you know,
young
I'm
Mary.
guilty of it too. I mean
All of us.
absolutely. So it's, they were looking for that and asking if they could, for lack of a better phrase, be the guinea pigs. They said they were willing to try anything. Well, so we had them in, and we had Dr. Leva, and she's awesome, and she's a health coach. She's not currently taking any patients, but she is she has such great views on where to start and the reasons. You know, you really have to pick your own brain, have a conversation with yourself on why you are choosing to do this now, and what your goals are, short term and long term, and why things are different now. You know, and so she talked to them and to us, and we decided on a short-term goal. They're going to pop in with us every 2 weeks and
Yes.
going to kind of check progress. So the initial step, I suppose, is committing to 20 minutes of physical exercise of your choice every day and and journaling. That was the biggest deal. Dr. Leva really recommends that to see it in writing is so different, and to state why these things are important. Yes, you may be giving up. She typically uses the example of smoking, but you may be giving up smoking, and so that's going to be the thing you're missing. But what are you gaining if you can stick to that? And it's the same thing with the healthy living. You know, we discussed losing weight is not necessarily doesn't equal healthy. You know, she had discussed that, but that becoming healthy will help just naturally check your
It's a great side
weight.
effect. Is what
So
it
it is, and that's what I'm really interested to talk to you, Dwayne, to find out. 65 pounds is
I'm guessing it may be more.
that's
you know.
significant.
you
I
can
mean, that
tell. It's
really
like
is.
you look incredible.
Like I said, I think that's awesome. I'm jealous. I struggle the same 20 pounds. I always joke since I've had babies. Same 20 pounds I gain and lose as an adult over and over. So I'm interested to find out your story and your reasons and how you've been able to maintain that and stick with that.
And let's find out too a little bit about the man. You know, tell us a little bit about yourself, because you've got a very active life.
I do.
You're involved with a lot of different things. So why don't you talk to our audience about that, Dwayne, if you wouldn't mind?
I was a professional commodities trader, trading pits in Chicago for about 17, almost 18 years.
Wow.
That you walk in the pit and your heart rate's at 110.
That I was
So
going to
Yep.
say,
you
that's
don't-
really high stress job.
And going into that, I was a highly tuned athlete. You know, I played football till I was 25. I played rugby till I was 36. So, you
Oh,
know,
that's awesome.
you can do whatever you want. You can have 12 cheeseburgers and a case of beer and wake up the next day and only put on
Ready
a
to
pound
rock.
and a half.
Yeah.
But life changes.
Absolutely
You know,
does.
so you retire and now you off and you're doing different things. I had a fortunate enough career that I can give back.
Sure.
Per se, I do a lot of community stuff. I do a lot with the Main Street Theater in Michigan City.
That's really neat.
I live in South Bend, so I'm starting to do stuff over there. Chesterton, where the
yeah.
kids are at. So you know, you find yourself actually busier now with a more full calendar than you ever have, and your habits become terrible.
Yeah.
But last September on the doctor's visit, I was feeling lousy. You know, just putting speakers up because I do sound gigs too. That's my
Yes.
I'm a
Oh.
geek. I'm a complete sound gear geek.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
I do sound reinforcement. You know, First Friday open stages, this and that, and moving speakers and stuff up on stands. I was just sweating my rear end off doing nothing. It's like something's got to give here. So I go to the doctor. Long story short, I'm diagnosed with diabetes. Kind of kick in the teeth, you know, and then you're like, at that point, you're like, well, that's it, you know, it's going to stop, it's going to change. You watch those kind of diagnoses on so many friends.
Yeah.
It's a death sentence for them.
Yes.
And they just continue to get fatter and complain and just make more and more excuses. My knee hurts, my back hurts, I've got a headache. Well, you got to stop that. You will say, okay, I'm going to change it because of that. My knee hurts. So your knee hurts. Lose 20 pounds. You got to keep walking. Do something. You get up and do
That's a great
something.
attitude.
Beyond
I mean, it's a
great
great attitude. The do something. You know, the
I mean,
do
if you have a
something.
basement, put your food in the basement. So
Yeah.
you have to go down
Good
and up the
point.
stairs to bring stuff up the stairs. You got to start small, but then it's from there. It's just you have to flip that switch. It's a complete lifestyle change.
So for you starting that day, you said,
I started that day. Yeah, I
Trying to
have.
just-
If you guys are familiar with diabetes, there's A1C
Yeah.
is your blood level content. Normal is 5 for a healthy adult person. I was at a 12, which is extremely high. My last visit in December, I was under 6. I was like a 5.8.
Wow.
Holy cow, that is
That's incredible.
Now, I go back next week on the 11th, and I'll find out, and I'm hoping to be under 5, 4.5 to 5, and that's when I get that weighing yourself every day.
Is that what you have to do? Is
Oh,
weigh
hell
yourself
no.
every day?
I can't
yeah.
do it.
I think so. I always find
cannot
that's quite
do
discouraging.
it. It is
From a
it-
woman's standpoint.
From a guy's standpoint
well,
there, Mary.
women lose weight slower than men anyway.
But
It's
that
just
first
harder.
6 weeks is, you know, like every day is like, I lost a pound, really? You know, and I started about 350 pounds. So dropping weight, that's not the
Yeah.
problem.
Mm-hmm.
But muscle
I
mass
hate
and
to
all
hear
that
someone
stuff
say
comes in.
that's not
Well, when you're 350 pounds, to drop 40
absolutely.
pounds really
I mean, you're
isn't
a tall
hard
guy,
thing.
right? I'm 5'2". Let me tell you, it's a
How
lot
tall
harder.
are you, Dwayne?
6'3".
See, I was going to say he's a tall man.
Right.
So
So yeah, I mean, you definitely, you know, you have it's easier to lose in those cases, that's for sure. But the weighing every day, it is exhausting, and that is not.
I mean, if it works for you,
Yeah.
that's what you have to find it. You
You
have
do-
to find in your heart what your niche is, what's
It's
going to
so
work for you.
true. It's so different for every person, and that's why I think that's why it's so difficult to actually stay engaged and stay inspired, because you do lose sight of that, no matter who you are. And I think that was Dr. Levis' point about writing it down. That was one little thing that she had brought up the other day that I have not tried. I have written down. You know, she said,
what have you not
He-
tried to writing down?
Well, I've written down my intake. You know, I've done
Yeah.
that before, which sometimes is eye opening when you think, wow, I did eat an awful lot today.
You woofed it.
But yeah, I think, did I really eat that many Hershey
Jeremy,
Kisses?
please stick up for me. I did not.
You
we
know,
shared it.
That's it.
Here comes the Hoover,
you know,
right?
that is eye opening occasionally.
You know it.
But the thing that she had pointed out was the reason why it's important, and the why you need to dedicate yourself to that. And
Sure.
and that way that you can refer back to that. And that was the thing, like I said, that I have not done, and I think that might be the thing that makes a big difference, you know. So
Can I
for
can
myself.
I ask a question to you too, Dwayne? When you found this out from your doctor, so you weren't feeling good, and I want the guys and the gals out there, because you're not feeling good. You're working. You're doing different things. What was going through your mind
Mm-hmm.
once you finally, because it's hard to even take the first step to say I'm going to the doctor.
Well, it is.
Because I would find
It's
an
a good
excuse
point.
as a guy. I'm telling you, most of the women or significant others in folks' lives are
You
the folks that
absolutely
push
do
it. So
find
talk
an
about that.
excuse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do.
All summer long. When I started with Betty Davis and
Sure.
designing, building that set, I was dying. And you just fluff it off. Okay, I'm overweight. I can get back in shape, and then you start that side, and you just find you cannot physically do it. So okay, there's a problem.
That's what it was for you that triggered you to finally say
Yeah.
something has to
Be a man.
Be afraid something's seriously
grow
wrong.
a pair and go to the doctor. Let's figure out what it is.
You're
And
absolutely
you
right.
really do. You have to not push it aside. That's not
it.
being a man.
Right.
Finding your problem, sucking it up, putting on those big boy boots, and say, "Okay, doc, what do we got to do?"
Yeah.
I just
love
had a guy. He calls himself C. Doesn't want to be said who it is, but he's listening to the show right now via our flagship radio station WIMS, and he says, "I can't take the first step." How did he do it? That is, in other words, that it's hard for a lot of people.
It
How do
really
you take
is.
that? What would you say to someone right now? That guy's listening.
I was shocked into it. I didn't. I expected something was to be wrong, but to be that. Sick is a good word because that blood sugar is way too high, and
It throws
complications from
everything
that
off, right.
within 6 months, things can happen like blindness and heart problems,
Right.
and it snowballs fast from there. So
does.
you'll see people go downhill fast. So at that point, I was once a finely tuned athlete. So getting back in shape, jumping on a machine and starting again, it wasn't so hard. Changing the diet, changing the attitude is just something you got to just dig that foxhole, put your butt down in it and say, that's it. I'm not going to do it. You
Yeah.
put your blinders on for breakfast, you eat at home. You don't grab something on the road. If you have to wait till 9 o'clock at night to get home and eat, I know doctors say eating late, that's hooey.
Yeah.
You're better to wait till 9 o'clock at night, go home, have a salad
Right.
with a
I mean,
handful
if
of
the
cherry
alternative
tomatoes and
is-
some cremini mushrooms. There's wonderful things you can eat that are so flavorful. You just got to break that salt and sugar cycle, And
Yeah.
since I've done tons of research, like, guys my age, you'll be there in a few years.
Yeah, thanks. Not you, Mary.
But you start, that
He
that
points
little,
right
Before
to me.
you know it.
Federica, you're going to be there, man.
well, that little voice in the back of your head from commercials your whole life. So,
Yeah.
your testosterone is going to start falling off. So,
Right.
well, like December-ish, and I'm feeling better, and it's like, okay, well, let's do some research. So you start doing research on testosterone, and there's supplements for it that'll kill you.
Oh,
It'll make
absolutely.
your
That's the
heart
scary-
shrivel up and die.
Yeah.
But there's other things you do. There's plenty of vitamins, supplements, but like sugar intake. If a man can keep his sugar gram intake to 30 grams a day or less, which is almost impossible, trust me,
It is.
it's going to be one of the biggest boosts to help you increase muscle mass, which is the best thing you can do to increase testosterone.
How could you? Can I ask this? And I don't mean to interrupt you, but 30 grams of salt a day. That's
No,
No,
sugar.
30 grams of
Oh,
sugar.
sugar.
pardon me. But I'm saying, okay, 30 grams of sugar. That's insane numbers to me. Where
is
are you getting that
extreme.
sugar
You
from?
would be-
You don't.
You would be so surprised at where your sugar comes in. One time, my sister-in-law was going to school to be a nurse, and we were discussing sugar. And it is incredible how many grams of sugar we consume every day without even realizing that
But
it's in
30
everything.
grams.
Well, if you look at things
crazy.
like kefir, like this healthy yogurt,
Yeah.
that,
Sure, sure.
you turn that bottle around and you'll see, the plain will have 34 grams of sugar in a
Per serving.
in a serving, or it may be the whole bottle, which is 2 servings, but still. And you grab the strawberry one, and now you're in the 60s.
Yeah.
So now you got to go down the aisle and look for something that has the kale drink, and that's got 5, 6, 7, 8 grams of sugar.
Yeah.
There you go.
It is very. I'm curious to know about your palate. I mean, it is extremely intimidating. The sugar stuff. When we had Dr. Jamie Kaufman on.
Yeah, absolutely.
She was
I remember
about
that show.
She was awesome too. I mean, and she
Yeah.
has been on numerous TV shows. So I watched a bunch of her clips before that, and she's really, really good. But one of the things in there that I was so blown away by that I think that just the impact. She said that obviously obesity is an issue across the country. I mean, we know this, but what we don't know is that the fundamentally the way they make our food changed in the 60s. Flour itself changed. Bread, everyone says bread, oh no, don't eat because of the carbs and stuff. But the flour that we make bread with changed in the 60s, which is crazy.
So is that why we're all getting bigger?
Well, it didn't used to include sugar. So,
Right.
you know, the flour itself is made with sugar on
And
top of which
niacin and,
absolutely.
you
I mean,
know.
it's just it's insane to me and crazy to think that you know it goes down to this basic of a level. But I'm curious about your
Yeah.
palate. You know, you know your taste buds. They always say regenerate after so many days. So anything you start, even if you don't like it, if you continue it, you will learn to either like or at least appreciate on some level. How do you do that when you just said you go to the kale drink?
Well-
I sneak kale and spinach in
And
my
I throw it
children's
into the
stuff
blender with my
occasionally.
smoothies because I
Yeah.
can't taste
Yeah,
it.
I don't take
being
the
honest.
time to make them. There's a product or a company, Suja, Suja, I believe it is,
Oh, okay.
and they make a green drink, and it's like pond water, and
Is
But
it
it's like
gross?
pond
It
water.
looks like pond water.
Yeah, that's what I.
It
That's
looks,
what I picture.
but it doesn't taste that bad.
Okay.
It's like kale and celery, and they squirt a little bit of lemon in there, and
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. And I'll take my daily dose of psyllium fiber, and I'll put it in there, shake it up, and
Okay,
chug it. You know,
hold-
just get
hold
it out
on.
of the way. You know.
To get it going.
Hold on,
yeah.
you just said something for the guys out there. I got to throw a couple things out there. 3 different sets of listeners. First off, you guys need to watch the documentary Fed Up. Have you heard of it?
I love it.
Do you really?
That's a sugar one with Katie Couric, right?
Yeah.
It was amazing. Honestly, I made my children
Yeah,
watch it. This
great.
sounds funny, but
Great insight. Thank you for that, Jenny.
Yes, thank you. It was so good. I had the kids watch it because my kids
Wait,
are.
what's in it?
Okay, the point of the whole thing is about sugar and how bad sugar intake. So they're showing you the grams of sugar that we're eating in our daily food that you don't even really
We need to do
realize.
a show on this.
It's amazing.
Absolutely, yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
It
'cause
is a
it's hidden
fabulous.
in everything.
Well, and it's also about the most surprising and incredible part of it. I thought was they take lab rats and these
we
lab
all?
rats are addicted
Yes.
to. Yeah, I know, right?
Human.
These lab rats are actually addicted to cocaine, and so what they do is they have these rats on this, and then they offer these rats cocaine or glucose water that they had like given them once. Like the majority of the rats went to the glucose water.
Get outta
Which
here.
was just shocking to me. Thinking, drugs. We clearly know how addictive and
Powerful.
debilitating a drug addiction can be. Sugar addiction is something that we don't. You hear about it, you kind of laugh it off, but it's such a real thing, and it's in your whole being, and it alters the chemical reactions in the brain. I mean, it was so shocking that for at least a couple days, I'll tell you, I love sugar, but a couple days I said, okay.
I love sugar. Ricky.
I did, but for a few days it was shocking, and I said, okay, we're gonna really cut back on our sugar. And the kids, my a couple of my daughters are crazy candy, snarfs. So they're always begging for candy, and not. I always say chocolate's not terrible for you because it doesn't stay in your teeth. So they like
You
the hard
just like
chunky-
chocolate, and dark chocolate it is, young lady.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Seriously.
we actually tried to really watch it, and there were very sad components to it. They interviewed children that were morbidly obese children and kind of followed them through and tried to help them work with dietitians and stuff. And they would find that they had such a hard time, they would revert back to their.
We have to dissect the movie and play on the air with Fed Up.
I
What
wasn't
a
for sure
great
how that would
text.
work. I've multiple times talked to my husband about it and thought, I'm not sure because it's not affiliated with anything we do. I wasn't sure if we were actually
Well, we
able
as
to do
men
that,
have the
but-
same thing, but it's not candy.
And what's that?
It's bourbon. It's
Oh.
a nice, well-made martini. It's a tequila
Does wine
sunrise.
count? Then
It's
I'm in there.
wine. It's the
glass of wine.
handcrafted beers.
Wait, so
you know,
wait.
it's-
I'm going to ask you this
that's
question.
man's candy.
It is man's candy, but I thought, for example, and I'm going to be blunt and honest here. You guys all know this. I'm very open and honest. I love margaritas, but I do the sweet and sour mix with zero everything. So 0 sugar, 0 whatever. I use the fresh limes. I use my favorite tequila, and I use a splash of, whatever else is in there. But I mean, I'm thinking to myself, there's no sugar in this. Is that bad
Well,
for
you can't have alcohol without sugar.
Well, that's true. That's just how
Alcohol
is
and
processed.
sugar, that's the reason it's there.
Really?
That's how
Yes.
it's made. But
Yep.
I mean,
Look at you
I,
shaking
I,
your
I
head at
still
me.
I argue it's
If
like
you
in
were to take-
moderation.
if you were to
and
take
red
a-
wine is good for the heart.
You're exactly right.
I know.
But if you were to take a beer and pull the hops out of it, you would be drinking alcoholic pop. That's how sweet it is. That's why they put hops into beers to bitter it up to make it
I didn't realize it
palatable.
would be that sweet. Wow.
Wow.
It's-
And how about the new microbrews? A lot of the young millennials love these.
Well, anytime if you
Brews.
take a Miller Lite, which is I brew beer, so
Oh, see?
so you
Another
have
brewer.
4% alcohol, you know, now so that's your sugar content.
Right, right.
If you're drinking these IPAs now at 9, 10, or double hearted at 11% alcohol, that's just that much more sugar
Right.
because you can't have that alcohol content without the sugar there causing that alcohol.
I'm curious how you brew beer, especially with type 2 diabetes, trying to manage that. Have you found that to be difficult, or you still do it, you just
No,
adjust
you
everywhere
give
else?
it away. I make it to make
my
it.
gosh,
I
I
make
can't
it for
believe
the
you're saying
fun
this.
of it. I make
enjoy
it
making
for
it.
the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, last Sunday.
You don't drink it?
I maybe one a week,
Oh.
if
Well,
that.
that's
You know, and
But
if-
that's way less in moderation. I mean, because
oh yeah, because I was doing 7, 10 a week
Oh,
of the
really?
craft brews. I haven't drinking like Miller Lite, Coors Light, that kind of stuff in years.
Yeah.
You know, I made
just
that
enjoy
realization. I
making
just give me the flavor. You know, keep the booze. I don't want to get drunk. I just want to enjoy the
well,
flavor.
you know,
Right,
it's
right,
funny you
right.
say it because I think there's a lot of us out there, and I'm glad you said that. I enjoy if I'm having Mexican food, I'll have a margarita.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
If you know, like you said, you're not drinking a glass or two of red wine to get lit.
Oh,
you're
no.
you're doing it because you're maybe having a nice dinner with your husband, or
Mm-hmm.
you're enjoying an afternoon.
Oh, I
Maybe the
say
kids were
late
just
night.
crazy.
The kids just went to bed and let me watch the news and have a glass of red wine. That's my
Absolutely.
favorite way to wind down. You know, and really, realistically, we run so much and are so crazy that a lot of times it might only be once or twice a week I actually do that because I'm falling asleep as I'm putting the kids to bed and think, no time for that.
Right?
An
You
overly
know.
stressful day, you sit down, you have a couple fingers of a very nice bourbon, and that's fine. You know, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you skip dinner, you only need a couple fingers of a nice
Yeah.
bourbon.
Well, it
You're
definitely
ready for
though
bed,
does
you know?
play into the sugar. You know, that's very true. Very
Yes.
good point.
I want to throw this out there to you, Dwayne. Richard Warner, Visual Impressions, listening on the
Hi, Rich.
Lakefront. He says, tell Dwayne I'm listening and hello. Also, another text in, and thank you for this one. You'll be amazed, you guys, at the sugar that is actually in processed foods. Again, we were chatting about, and thank you so much for that insight, Jay, on the Fed Up. You know, that
Absolutely.
I would love to see
I'm
that.
gonna have
It's
to
on
watch that.
Netflix. It's on Netflix. If you, my brother-in-law is the one that brought it to my attention. And one day when we were snowed in, this was actually last winter, I said, we're going to watch this. I think it was right after the new year last year. One day we were snowed in. So it was good. And I was really glad to. And you know what's funny? My kids said, you know, it makes you feel like we should really get out and go for a bike ride or something, because it's just talking about how, you know, small changes like we're always talking about here, trying to stay physically fit on even on a normal level, not talking anything crazy, living in a gym or anything, but really combats so much of that and makes a big difference. So, I mean, it is a fabulous documentary. I would absolutely say watch it. I every now and then search to see if they do anything that's like it, but I haven't found one I like as much yet, you know, so.
Why don't we all, and we can invite Dwayne, Jackie, Jenny, and some of these folks in, and maybe we could kind of compare or look at some of these, because that blows me away that there's that much sugar. I'm not being stupid.
No, you're not.
It's just that, you know, you would think, oh my gosh, so I'm eating this and this is bad. When you said 30 grams, I'm like, man, who's eating 30 grams?
You know,
But-
I'd be
It's
interested.
almost impossible, but it can be done.
Yeah.
It can be done.
Well, I mean, right. I mean, you even think, like I said, when you're talking the basics of bread, if it's in the normal flour that they make everything with, it's in everything.
So you're saying if I'm thinking to myself, I'm having this, and I'm just going to use me as an example, piece of honey wheat bread that is 45 calories a slice, Sara Lee, I'm going to say it, and then you put, I can't believe it's not butter, a light dusting of that, and then you put on top of that a light dusting of peanut butter, and then I'm eating it. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to eat, and it should be good. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh,
is
yeah.
it good?
Well,
or-
if you're
It's
a
why it's
normal,
deceiving.
if you're a normal person and you don't have diabetes, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's the person who's fighting this disease, who's looking
Absolutely.
to get off the medicines. That's kind of where I'm coming from. You want to shake it.
So, Dwayne, I'm curious. So, you obviously started that day, you said, making the dietary changes and working. You were already an active man, you said, but like working in anything additional that was different physically?
like, are you working out? What are
Do
you
you-
doing?
you-
Yeah,
Right, do you, like, spend a
I
specific amount
have
of time
an
working?
elliptical,
Oh,
a nice one, and so I just started getting back on that. And the first week or so, that 15 minutes was just killer. But now it's 45 minutes to an hour.
Are you
Depending on
kidding?
what
You're
I'm
doing
doing.
that's
Fantastic.
really
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, every day. And
Literally
it's-
every day.
Absolutely every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is that how you feel that you've lost the weight? Obviously, you tweaked
Well,
your
it's
diet.
definitely a help. I mean, you don't really, you hit a point like mid-December where you don't lose weight because
Yeah.
your muscle mass is increasing. So you're actually, there's
That's a
couple
good thing,
times
though.
yeah, but it's gone from this, and I'm starting to get here, and I want to get back to this, and that's where I'm at now. I'm at that plateau. You know, I'm now wearing the size pants that I wore when I was 28 and I got married.
Wow, that is
Nice.
fantastic.
I want to be back in the size pants when I was, playing college ball and
Yeah.
was, can run around without a shirt on. I don't know if that'll ever
Rick
happen,
That's
but
fantastic.
Rick Federighi's never been fortunate enough to have his shirt off.
Yeah, have you run into? I mean, everyone runs into hurdles. You said you're plateauing a little. Is that for you? Causing you to maybe be a little less committed?
yeah, well, not necessarily food wise. Because it's now a lifestyle. I think I've been at this long enough that I've
Yeah.
altered my lifestyle. So
That's
my
fantastic.
breakfasts they're about the same. They vary. Midday snacks. I mean, if I'm
Can I ask what you eat for breakfast? Because I'm just curious.
Breakfast-
Inquiring
Rick
minds.
loves breakfast.
I
yeah.
do.
I'm a Chicago guy.
Okay.
So I found this place in south side of Chicago, suburbs. It's called Sonoma Farms, and they make hot jardinere with 100% extra virgin olive oil.
Okay.
So no soy, no crap. I mean, it's just all veggies and extra virgin olive oil. So I'll take a spoonful of that in a pan, get it hot, throw in a handful of tomatoes, some cremini, mushroom caps, and then egg whites. I
Yeah.
buy egg whites and egg beater egg whites by the cartons, and I'll
Yeah.
pour some in, and you'd be surprised that it
Dude, that
swells up.
sounds
And
killer.
it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
really tasty.
Really good.
No cheese.
No cheese. That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a cheese girl.
No
I'm a
cheese.
cheese
I'll do
kid.
cheese middle of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Only white cheeses, no yellow cheeses. American cheese is terrible.
Well, I knew American cheese was
That's-
really bad.
but
As far as
yellow cheeses have more cholesterol in them as a basis.
Oh,
So if you
really?
can
I
stay,
didn't know that.
like if you like cheddar, go white cheddar.
yeah, I could do that.
I'm a provolone mozzarella boy.
I
Yeah,
really
me too.
Seriously.
I
Yeah,
like pretty
smoked
much any.
provolone,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Any
grew up with
cheese.
Italian immigrants on both sides of me. I grew up in Chicago, so Italian food. I died.
Is that
for
your
it.
fave?
Yeah.
Have you found a way? I mean, so you still eat pasta and
No
stuff?
pasta.
That's really hard
Really?
with glucose.
No
Well, it's
pasta.
Like not even the wheat penny pasta?
No, I will take an extra lean cut of beef, like a fillet, and I'll cook that again with the jardinere to get
Yeah.
that flavor in it, that spicy oil. Even if I have popcorn, I'll siphon off a couple tablespoons of that jardinere oil and pop the
sounds
corn in that.
well, the pasta is really hard on your glucose levels.
Yeah,
That's
well,
why I was curious what you
anything
did
with
the
flour,
type 2.
grains, I consume no grains anymore, minimal.
So when you
extremely
say no
minimal.
grains, can you educate the audience and us?
Well, flour.
That's- how do you do that?
oatmeal. I don't
That's what I was gonna say,
You don't
oatmeal.
do oatmeal, or
I
you
don't do oatmeal. Most people can normally do oatmeal.
Okay, because I do oatmeal now every day
Yeah.
because everybody's telling me that oatmeal is
Well, it's
good for
great
you.
It is
heart.
good for you,
But your diabetes and your glucose. I mean, you don't have diabetes. Your
Right.
glucose came back fine, so that's
Right.
That's
so
why it's
I've
okay.
altered my diet to stay below that. And now, like this morning, I had chia pudding.
Tell us.
Explain. Yeah.
Tell us.
I want to hear about this chia
Chia
pudding.
It is 3 cups of almond milk, the 30 calorie stuff,
Okay.
vanilla flavored, a half a cup of chia seeds in a bowl, mix them up with a splash of vanilla, soak it overnight. The next morning, it's like tapioca pudding.
Really?
Wow.
It is, and it's not quite as sweet as you would think it is. Some people, you can put stevia in it if you
Yeah.
want. I choose not to use any sweeteners. I just like it the way it is. And it's going to make enough for 2, maybe 3 breakfasts.
Wow,
so
we
you
had
just keep it covered. In it.
Chef Melody on, who's a vegan chef. She was on quite a while ago, and she'll be on later this month too, because apparently March is National Nutrition Month.
It
so
is.
It
She's
is.
going to be on, but she had actually brought a pudding. Do you remember?
It
a
was
chocolate
definitely a
pudding,
chocolate, and I
and
know
it
Ryan,
was
our
full of
executive producer.
chia.
Yeah,
It was full of chia
totally
seeds
full,
on
and it was really good.
It was good. And,
If
it wasn't
if-
very sweet, but it
You
was
could
good.
take that
So I
same
wondered if
pudding and
that's the
put in
same
like
thing.
a cocoa powder, like a dark chocolate
Yeah.
cocoa powder, high cocoa content, and mix it in, and it's going to be chocolate flavored.
That is fantastic.
It's just super.
Tell
And it fills you
Dwayne.
up.
This person said, "Tell Dwayne all this talk about jardinere is making me hungry." And then JK chimes in. Listen to this one. This is for all of us. I want to try this, guys. We use zucchini and eggplant instead of pasta. That sounds phenomenal.
there is
Spaghetti
a
squash.
there
Spaghetti
is yes
squash.
there is a recipe
Wow.
in one of my books at home that I was looking at that is
I gotta
from
look.
that squash. No, it's not in that one.
It's not in this
There
one?
could be
It's
one in
not
that
in
one.
that
All right. I'm,
Not the one.
I'm looking at the Healthy Eating Younger Life Live
Which has
cookbook here.
fantastic recipes, but at least that was not the one I was looking
Yeah,
at.
even
And
Yeah.
the spaghetti squash, I was curious about. I have not done it. I was just looking at it thinking, I wonder if that would be difficult. I am not.
it's not
big
difficult.
in the kitchen.
You cut
you
it
know?
in half. You clean out the seeds.
Yeah.
Put it in a shallow pan, and you can microwave it for 15 minutes. It takes a while.
Right.
okay.
Let it cool. Let it cool faced up so that steam escapes from it, and then when you pull the strings out, they're drier, and it's going to be more like a pasta. It'll
That's a
take
good
your
point.
sauces or oils.
Yeah.
Someone just
definitely
okay.
try
So
that.
here's what I got in this recipes. You can see it in the camera. Recipes for healthy eating. YoungerLife.org. You're listening and viewing Younger Life Live. Dwayne, of course, here in studio. Rick and Mary. Listen to this summer stuffed squash. 8 fresh squash, same size. Water for boiling squash. 1 tablespoon of parsley chopped. 1 tablespoon of wheat germ. 1 tablespoon of plain low-fat yogurt. 1 tablespoon of onion chopped. 1 teaspoon of dill wheat and some water. That's it.
Yeah, and if you don't want the wheat germ, put in some ground flaxseed or flax meal.
Calories on this: 32 calories, total fat 1 gram, 0 cholesterol, 8 milligrams of sodium. That's it.
That's it. That's
Wow.
nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's
See,
a-
there are so many things to try. And I say, I know people don't want to hear us talk food every single day, but I could literally do food shows every day because I think
Me too.
I'm always looking for
I love
different
Oh, me too.
different options and different things to try at home. And I'm not really big on spending a long time in the kitchen, and I don't have the time to. But I'm always looking for different ways. I love to go through these foods. I'm always surprised by, especially when we have a chef on and we're able to taste something and go, that actually is very good.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you hate to spend, food's expensive. And so to spend the money on a recipe that you think, we don't normally eat that, I would like to know how that tastes, it's nice.
And then, you hear the argument people say, well, eating healthy is so expensive. It really isn't.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, you grab the big container of organic spring mix for a salad.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get 4, 5, maybe 6 meals out of that. What's that, $2?
Can I
Yeah.
Time
can I
throw
ask
in
you
other
what
veggies in.
what you're throwing into that? Are you throwing any kind of meats like chickens or like? I'm just
Sometimes,
curious.
if I haven't had a protein throughout the course of the
Mm-hmm.
day, I mean, if I didn't do chicken or and if I've been good for a few days, I'll throw some bacon in it. You
Yeah,
can't completely
that's what we do.
deprive yourself. You can't do it.
Right. It's not something you'll ever make a lifestyle change.
Because when you break,
That's what I like
you'll
you say that.
break and you're going to go 40, 50, 60, 70 pounds.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you have to, I mean, I grew up eating. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to continue to eat. So if I fortunate
That's
enough-
American, though. Let's be honest here. I think
is.
that's the problem that we have to all of us.
Oh, yeah.
We're all brought up that way, and we all have, significant others, children,
Mm-hmm.
grandchildren, whatever. And folks
Yeah.
listening out there, so that's tough because the other side of it is when you go out, do you find that it's hard for you to kind of put everything into perspective? Like, let's say you go out to a restaurant. Do you know what you're going to pick? That's got to be hard.
That is
Yeah,
probably a lot
kind
tougher.
of. I just, I'm a bachelor, but if I'm fortunate enough to find a date, I'll go to Ruth's Chris
Right?
and
Beautiful.
have a nice steak and
Yeah.
whatever. I might opt to take the potato away and bring me some asparagus.
Yeah.
But I definitely want the mushroom.
Can I tell you, he's really making me hungry these
Yeah, I
days.
know. Yum. That all sounds really
But
good.
yeah,
So-
or you'll go someplace. There's some fabulous restaurants in South Bend that I've been exploring because there's, this is the time of year for seafood. I mean, I'll go
Yes.
in and I'll have a dozen oysters and skip the meal.
Okay, so here's
But
we go.
push the bread away. Push that bread away. They're going to bring you bread to
Yeah,
try to
that's a
fill
hard
you up.
one.
And that says, okay, boy, I'm stuffed. That's the greatest place because I'm stuffed. Well, because they gave you bread.
Yeah.
Concentrate on the meal. Make sure you got a nice protein.
It's a good
in
point.
there,
It's
you know.
hard. That's definitely my
I'm telling you
weakness.
right now, a lot of
It's
people.
impossible.
A lot of people are out there eating that bread and they're
mean-
dipping it in the oil and the Parmesan cheese, typical Italian.
Yeah.
And I see people scarf
Oh,
loaves.
I would rather. There are times when we'll go out. I would rather just eat salad and bread, and I
Then
don't
just
want
do
anything
it.
else.
Then do it. Don't
Really?
order an entree. Just do it. Who
Oh, yeah,
cares
but I'll
what
eat a
they
lot of
think
bread
about
then.
you?
But yeah,
you
I
know.
have done that. I have because I love salads and I love bread. So
How about this recipe and the recipes for healthy eating? A guide to healthy eating tailored to a no fat,
Mm-hmm.
no sugar, and no salt diet. YoungerLife.org. We can get you a copy while they last if
Mm-hmm.
you guys chime in. Broccoli loaf. Let's see. 2, I guess it says 2C broccoli frozen. So I'm
cups.
assuming 2 cups,
Yeah.
correct? 3 egg whites. There you go, Dwayne. 4 quartered tomatoes, 1 onion sliced, 1 celery diced, 1 salt-free cracker crumbs, a quarter teaspoon of pepper, some nutmeg, some allspice, some onion powder. That's it. Mix it all together. Bake for 30 minutes. Serves 4 people. Now, this is where it gets a little unique because I'm used to kind of bigger portions like a lot of us are. But 167 calories, 3 grams of total fat, and 0 cholesterol, and 200 milligrams of sodium in that one. I'm just, throwing it out
Yeah.
there.
Well, there's one I did a couple of weeks ago. You take a whole head of cauliflower, the whole head, clean it, get it, dry it off, and you're going to cover that with a little bit of salt, pepper, some rosemary, whatever you like. I'm a big thyme person, so you cover in that. You lightly some reduced sodium Parmesan, pack it
Yeah.
on there, stick it in the oven, 350 for till it's done, till it's tender. Usually about 35 minutes. That cuts up like a meat roast. And
Really?
it's so good because those flavors just get drawn right in.
Ooh.
And if you're feeling adventurous, you can take a little bit of butter, melt it, spread it on before you put your seasonings on it.
Yeah.
It is tasty.
That would make a great side dish
Wow.
for the
It gets
kids
nice
too.
and brown on the outside and
Yeah.
caramelized with that because that Parmesan cover. And
Something
it's
different.
a
I can
healthy
see
meal.
that.
Well, say we're having roast or something
Sure.
without. Sometimes we make the roast, make potatoes and stuff on the side. That'd be a nice thing to do on the side, different where it's not terribly different for the kids as far as the meat, and
Sure.
normal
Sure.
vegetables,
Well,
and then try this.
Well,
add
take the
something different.
potatoes out of the pot when you boil them and make mashed potatoes
Yeah.
and substitute it with cauliflower.
That's what I'm saying.
Mashed
That's
cauliflower is really good. You can't really tell until you taste it. And then at that point, they're like,
They just
They're
think
like
it's different.
butter.
You're like,
it's got butter on it.
like, just eat it. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
it's
eat it.
good.
Well,
That's
I'm
a great
curious-
idea, by the way. I never
yeah,
thought
it
about
is.
that at all.
I'm
You
just
find all
curious to
kinds of
know.
little tricks when you're standing in that kitchen or at the line at Whole Foods or Costco, wherever you're at. Like, okay, I got to figure it out a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah,
you
that's
always
great.
been adventurous then when you're cooking at home? Or
My
is this
dad
just-
was a Cajun. He
Oh,
was
really?
born and raised in Louisiana. So, yeah, I've eaten bear meat and turtle soups. And so we were always adventurous eaters growing up. And then, of course, I had the Italians on the other side who were
Yeah.
octopus and squid and,
So you're not afraid to try new things in the kitchen anyways,
I'll eat
which
anything
helps.
once, yeah.
It absolutely helps and helps with you cooking your own stuff that's a little bit different and without being,
Yeah.
having that stigma. A lot of me too will go, ooh, I don't know. You know what I mean? So I love that you're just ready to jump and go for it when you know that it's good for you. And I'm curious to know how you mentally get back in the game when you do run into a snag, because everybody does. And
I am too. Again, that's kind of why I'm here. I just looking for different ideas, different ways to take it to the next level, to lose that last 4 inches on my waist, I obviously once the weather changes, which I think is a great idea, is to put together some biking tours.
Yeah. There you
Yeah,
go.
you
We
know,
were
we
talking
talk
to
about
Ryan
biking
about
a
that the other
lot.
morning.
Yeah.
We have everybody meet at one of the national parks in the parking
Do
lot.
that all day.
And just take off,
Yeah.
and just go.
that's nice.
And make a club out of it. Who knows?
Right, I do know the Bike Stop said that they were trying to get together, like once a month or every other month, biking clubs, which I think is a fantastic. It gives you something to look forward to, and also knowing you better practice a little bit in the meantime, so you're not
there's
falling
that
behind.
carrot dangled in front of you, and that's
That's
the
it.
best. It's a goal.
It's a
You know,
goal.
okay, I'm going to see these guys another 4 weeks.
Do you ride bikes?
I do. Yeah, when I lived in
Really?
Chicago, I lived in Lincoln Park. I rode my bike to the Merc any day it wasn't snowing or raining.
That's
So,
really nice.
yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, now living out in the country now is, you drive to the corner store.
That's
Yeah.
know,
Well, you could come and ride over here by the, radio ranch here at Gerard Media LLC, because you would be surprised at how many people ride their bikes around
Yeah,
this
I used
area.
to ride the
Yeah.
roads out here. I used to live in Valpo. We would take the bikes out and hit the trails and
yeah.
start in Hobart and and drive to and from and go back and there's
That's
a
really
lot.
good.
That's great.
So I've got a little question, kind of challenge then. So something different for you, since you're already so active, so much. You're already on that elliptical for such a long period of time. Have you tried yoga? Have you tried any of those
I
things?
have not.
Because I know it sounds fun. I have done a little bit of yoga that I find to be a bit of a snoozer, but there are new videos. No, honestly,
She's
there are,
blunt, baby. She's telling it like it is.
I have to be honest.
It's true.
Honestly,
You got to
good.
find what works.
You
Yeah.
do, and I've tried a million different videos and stuff, but I know that Brendan had recommended to you. You tried a video. I think it Yoga by Andrea.
Yes.
Is that it?
On YouTube.
It's on YouTube, and they're like 15 minutes, and that's it.
Now, see, if they had a yoga video by a middle-aged fat guy, I'd be all over it.
Well-
because then I know somebody's who's in my situation and is compassionate to what we're all going through.
Yeah, but you know,
No, you're absolutely right.
well, there may be men. That's a very good point. I don't know. I haven't researched that, but I mean, even trying it just because it actually engages such different muscles than you normally use, or that you would use on the elliptical, but a little bit different with your own. It's your strength training. Your own body weight a little bit. Maybe you try that. Even just like 10 minutes a day of something different.
What do you
give it a
think?
shot. Yeah.
I think that would be
I'll
awesome.
do it too. If you try it, I'll try it.
I'll try it.
I've tried some of the stuff, and let's be honest here. In the several weeks ago, probably now a couple months ago, you gave me a
Yeah.
couple of.
Oh,
they
those-
were true snoozer
They were. And
yoga.
one of
and
them was a man, and it was just.
I didn't like it.
It was too slow paced for
That's
me
what it was
to keep
for
me
me.
engaged.
That whole
It's more of the
Yes.
meditation aspect,
You
which
know.
I think is
It's
fabulous.
great if you want to get into
But
that.
when
I
I'm
meditate
looking
when
for,
I pray. I don't need that. I
that's
need
it.
the,
And,
Thank you.
when I'm looking
Big
for
G, we
something a
love
little
you.
bit more, I want to feel engaged. I want to walk away from it and feel like that felt good. I did something. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why I think I was a little disenchanted with those videos. But I know that Brendan's. He's a male, and he was saying he was shocked, and a couple men at the hospital that were trying to do healthier things had told him about this,
Turned him onto it, totally,
turned him
yeah.
onto it, and said it's very good, and he actually liked it. It might be something different for you since you are already so active, and definitely get your cardio in, obviously.
Yeah.
So I think this might be something different. Maybe you'll find your muscles respond differently.
I want to ride
them
bikes
into-
with all of us.
I think that would be an absolute hoot.
Because I'm telling you, Ryan will do it. I know his lady will do it.
Oh yeah.
Just tell
Brittany
Ryan
will
we'll
do
do
it.
tequila shots at the halfway point. We'll be up.
Yeah, he was bringing that up.
Ryan,
earlier. That's
pull
funny.
that full shot up of the camera in the corner and get in here for a minute. Just because I want to, come on in. I want you to sit right over here next to Dwayne for a minute. So are you in it to win it with us or what, young man, huh?
If it involves biking and tequila, of course.
Yeah.
How can you not be, right?
Well, and you guys were talking about this, and you ride. You're a rider. I mean,
Yeah.
you are truly a good rider. How much do you ride? Because you and Brittany have gone out in the winter weather here in this area of Northwest Indiana, Chicago, Southwest Michigan.
We usually, when we ride, we usually just go along the lake shore. But what I'm actually going to start doing is I'm going to let her take the car and have it force me to ride my bike to work every day.
Wow.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's probably
How far are you? It's
it's
a little
probably-
scary.
It's probably about I don't know, 5 miles maybe.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
That's
but
good.
that's still good.
That's a
5
lot.
miles there,
Great.
5 miles
Yeah,
back.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Absolutely.
You can do that without getting sweaty and have to take a shower. When
Well, I
you get to
mean,
work.
for me, I sweat really easily, so I'll probably still come
So
in
do
here
I.
really soaked.
That's all tall, big men sweat easy.
Yes.
My husband's the same way.
You must be of Eastern German descent or something.
Uh,
Irish.
German, Scottish, and Norwegian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We sweat.
Ryan, so he's the hip young one around here, and it's funny because I'll say something, and go, oh yeah, but now you've tweaked your diet. Now Ryan, those that listen and those that view Younger Life Live,
I've heard
you're at a plateau too. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I've kind of hit like a plateau. I mean, I'm still going to working out. Kind of hit like a little bit of a gap in that because my niece is up from Indianapolis, so want to spend time with her. But I've hit that plateau right around 20 pounds like lost. So I
Yeah.
mean, I'm at about 240 right now, staying steady, but I'm not gaining, and that's all I'm happy about right now.
240 is my goal.
But you know what? That's great because you guys all have goals. And the problem for me, I think I'm in the Mary Anthony book where I gain the 10 or the 20 and then I lose it. Or I
That's
feel
right.
really excellent and I'm like watching it. But you guys are telling me things today that like I am a good guy for days. I won't touch bread. And then there's a day I'll go home and I'll be like, I'm hungry and I'm eating smaller portions more often, which people tell you to
Right,
do.
right.
But then I'll have that peanut butter sandwich. You guys are like, that's
So what?
bad. I'm like,
No,
But you can't beat
it's-
yourself
you
up
can't.
about it. You wake up the next day and it's your lifestyle. It's not your life choice.
like,
That's it.
okay, so for example, I'm doing peanut butter, a banana I'm cutting up, honey on that drizzled.
But you sleep what, 3 hours a night? 4
About
hours a night?
4 to 5 at the
So
most.
you're burning calories longer than most people are.
Yeah.
You know, you're not sleeping, you're not going into that REM very much, so your body's, you know, you're burning and churning.
But
I
people
don't
tell me
imagine
that
you
people
sit
tell me
down
that
and
I've
quit
gained.
the TV.
No, I don't.
See, and so
don't.
you're constantly on the move. You're like me.
I
It's
am,
just,
but people are telling me though that that whole sleep thing is really bad. Where you like, for example, let's say I get 4 or 5 hours. Like last night, I went to bed probably after when I really truly went to sleep was about 10, and I got up this morning at 1:30 ish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's good sleep during those 3.5 hours.
Right. Dr. Levitt touched on the sleep a little bit the first time she joined us, and had said, you know, it really is just so important. I mean, because what happens is the rest of your organs, I'm trying to remember exactly how she put it, but the rest of your organs, you know, your body thinks it's hungry because it's trying to keep going so much, and it isn't, or you're just not burning as efficiently as you could be calorie wise, and your
right, it goes into a
brain's not-
reserve mode. and your
absolutely.
body's
It
trying to say,
stores it
"Hey,
more,
Hold on,
and-
then you're going to
yeah.
find yourself artificially trying to increase that through caffeine, and that the only thing that's speeding up is your brain.
Well, how about the caffeine?
And your heart.
Someone said the caffeine goes right to your gut. Is that true?
I hope not, because I love coffee.
I don't know. I don't drink any caffeine.
You
know,
don't?
just a
You
little bit of
don't?
iced tea. Yeah, no caffeine.
Oh, is that what that is? You're drinking a
It's unsweetened.
throw it right into the camera so people can see it.
Unsweetened, lemon flavored,
Nice.
pure leaf iced tea.
Was that a new change when you decided to?
No, I've always had
you've
iced
always-
tea. Yeah, I just pulled the
I
sweetener
meant
out of it.
the no other.
No,
caffeine.
I, you know, as a trader, if you see these guys, they walk in the trading pits and they're sweating already.
Oh yeah,
They're
right.
making dopios out of water Joe, you know, the caffeinated water, and they're making their espressos, and they're walking in the pit. The bell hasn't even rung yet, and they're sweating. Their eyes
Yeah.
are bugged
Yeah,
out. They're
that's
twitching.
terrible.
You know.
Right.
And it's you can't function. I
Oh,
couldn't.
certainly
I
not.
couldn't
Your heart
either.
will
But, you know,
not
these guys
function
turn
like that
over
long.
every year too. The guys
Yep.
that were down there that were traders, they worked out in the morning. You know, they were steady. So your heart rate's going to get up. You don't
Right.
need the help. I mean, that caffeine is not helping you focus one bit, not one bit at all.
Ryan, you drink coffee,
I do
but
drink
not
coffee.
a lot. Like about what, a cup a day?
I've cut down. I used to actually be able to do one, maybe even 2 pots a day. But I mean, well, because I was working in food service for such a long time that I needed to stay awake. I mean,
Sure,
I was working. I was getting off sometimes at like 2 in the morning. I'd have to be back at it at about 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah.
I've had times where I've done extremely unhealthy amounts of caffeine. I did a 5-hour energy and a Red Bull one day.
Oh my gosh,
It was-
that is
Well, you know, really,
crazy.
what
It's
pays
terrible.
way worse than your heart there is your kidneys.
Yeah.
It's really hard to filter a lot of that
1
stuff.
to 2
Yeah.
cups is a great diuretic.
Thanks, Dr. Mary.
I am not a doctor. Look, this is my disclaimer. I
Listen,
didn't say it. We are not doctors.
Everybody, we are not doctors.
not
1, 2, 3.
experts.
We are not
I
doctors.
point it out all the time. It's
Although I'd
not
like to play one for 75 grand a year. Those
But-
people on the soaps make big money weekly. I'm telling. Well, you know,
Yeah.
they're making big money. This to me is just a great way. So here's what we've got. So Ryan, we put together for Dwayne here the recipes for healthy eating. YoungerLife.org. It's Younger Life Live. We got you a stress heart. So when you're doing every day when you wake up, you're pretty much getting on your elliptical and doing at least 6-7 days a week for real.
Yeah, for real.
Wow.
Yeah.
An hour at least.
Well, 45.
Yeah.
to an
Wow,
hour,
that's crazy.
right now. Some
It's
days,
good.
You know, it depends on when I have to get out of the house and how much I allow my time for showers.
Look at this medicine bottle opener.
Yeah, hopefully
Younger
I won't
Life
need
Live.
that.
I know.
My goal
Right.
is to get off the medicine.
We got health tests and a passport. We got the sofa workout. Which did you see this?
You were talking about it the other day. I
We-
think that's quite
We
interesting.
did joke about it at first, but honestly, I
It
think
really
it's
good. I feel
Well,
people-
squats are squats. I don't care
Right.
if you're doing
That's it. That's what I'm saying.
true.
You know, like squats, you're gonna feel it. That's definitely a workout. Some of those, especially for those people that are, hesitant to take the
Sure.
first step.
No,
Start,
the
start.
2 figures on there could
Yeah.
make for some. So if you have a nice, healthy partner,
Yeah.
probably take it to
Keeps
another
you
level,
motivated
right?
a little
Oh,
bit.
I like this guy.
Yeah.
He's thinking like a typical guy here, right? Poor Mary, we love you.
I am a bachelor.
Healthy eating plate, which I think is wonderful, and it talks about choosing one of the healthy oil likes, canola oils, different things. Now we've talked about this too on the air. There are different opinions
There's
on
been
this.
right.
You know, so
Debates
I-
on the oils.
So what do you hear, Dwayne?
From what I've read, anything that's processed through heat, I don't want to eat.
Okay.
You know,
Wow, that's almost the same.
Yeah.
Anything that's
That is the
processed through
same.
heat, I don't want to eat.
That's your vitamins. It's the more raw you can keep things like a handful of almonds. Get the raw
Right.
almonds.
Almond boy right here.
Hey,
Yeah.
I've got some in my bag right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, no, I get those at Jewel, $12 for 2 pounds, and they'll last a few weeks. And
Wow.
yeah,
That's
those
a
are
good
great.
deal.
Just keep them in a truck. Snack on them if you're trying to get to the next meeting or something. And,
Yeah.
you know.
That's a great deal.
But keeping busy is the most important.
I'm with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Keep your brain occupied on something. Don't wait to stop to make your calls. Use your Bluetooth or your
Yeah.
headset.
Look
make
at
your
this.
calls from the truck, so
Yeah.
you're not just sitting there mindlessly chewing on, salt munchies and that kind of thing.
Well, that's what I find, just so you guys know, commuting back and forth from the west suburbs of Chicago into
absolutely.
Indiana, into Michigan, pretty much daily and or just several times a week, multiple days, sometimes 7 days a week.
Are you
Yeah.
like bucking for sainthood or something? That's an amazing day.
I do about 12 to 1,500 miles a week on my truck. So my '08 Jeep, well, you guys know, it looks good on the outside, but I have 372,000. It's in the shop right now, but I've got the extended warranty, which was smart. My wife was, the women or the significant others in our life sometimes create the coolest things, because she said to me, Rick, for an extra $19 a month for the 5 years we're going to have this note, you will thank me in 5 years. And sure enough,
Oh, yeah.
that has saved me, because we blew through a tranny already, which was
Yeah.
free. And all the big stuff is, free. The oil changes and stuff. But anyways, yeah, 372,000 miles. So yeah, I like it.
That's really good.
But
and you've only had to replace the transmission.
yeah, so far.
I mean, knock on wood.
Your
That's
insurance
really
agent must be just,
Yeah.
he's like, oh my
pins
God.
and needles. Yeah.
So you're up for the challenge. You're going to try yoga. We want you to come back.
Yeah,
because
Let's
please
try
do.
yoga. Yeah.
I
Give
would
it a
love
try.
to have Jenny, Jackie, and Dwayne in here to kind of bond
I
with
think that
us.
would be great.
You
And,
know?
it
Yeah,
brings a
just-
whole different perspective too, because it is very true. It's not just women that struggle with it and try to find ways to succeed. It's men too. And I mean, you've been a great example of that. You've done so many changes that are not just, you're talking big changes. That's a
1
big
minute
deal.
left. 1 minute left.
Great.
These last couple of dings, the text messages, they're loving the show. Enjoy, Dwayne. Some great information. Big round of applause for Dwayne. 65 down, and just a little bit more to go.
My total goal is to be, I started at 340. I want to be at 100 pounds. Total loss.
100
By
pounds total
September.
loss. We
In
can
one
do
full
it.
year.
One full
Wow.
year.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 full year. And to be completely medicine free.
Okay. Let's shoot for that. I like that. All right.
That's a great
Ryan,
goal.
you're going to lead the biking group with the bike stop in Michigan City, right?
It works for me.
Okay, good. And Mary, you're ready to join us too on your bike.
Oh, definitely.
With the kiddies, and I know I am, and
Yeah.
Norez,
Yeah.
Jeremy as well, Brittany as well,
Yes.
Mary Gelati as well. Hey, on behalf of us all at Younger Life
Mary
Live,
Gelati's going,
she's
what?
like,
Who
what?
said that?
Who was that, Federica?
What are you roping me into?
Thank you so much,
Okay.
Dwayne. Thank you, Ryan.
you.
I'm Rick Federici.
I'm Mary Anthony.
And thank you again for joining us here on Younger Life Live. Have a great day. Woo! Round of applause. Ow!
AM 1420, WIMS Michigan City, a Girard Media Company station.